I think we are. Yeah, could be. I know we've had some technical problems over the last few minutes, but I think we've sorted it out and we've gotten the gremlins away. I think it's happened. I'm not 100% sure, but I think we're going to roll with it here. Carver, Sands, Lisi, of course, Joe out in New Orleans this week. I'm hanging with you. We've got Hitler Bell, who's here as well. All right, so since we haven't been here the last few minutes, let's figure out what's going on. Hawks and Pistons are in a barn burner. Hawks now up to 130-128 with 30 seconds left. I think the Hawks are at the free throw line. And the Pistons just call a timeout. So they've got the rock, 31.9 to go, and they're down 2. We'll see what the Pistons can do with it. The Rockets are now up 6 on the Knicks. So that's not good for Matthias. Kings are up 77-70 on Minnesota. So the Kings, new look Kings. Only bad thing for Matthias is that no bounds for Sabonis. He's only got 6 late in that game. Maybe he'll have a big fourth for you. Thunder up 40 on the Bucks. 107-67. Uh-oh. What's the matter?
40 points. My God,
40.
man.
Now SGA's got 34 with 3 minutes left in the third. He's not out there right now.
I lost, Mike. I lost.
You didn't lose.
He ain't coming out.
Remember what you don't think he's going to come back in a 40-point game?
Absolutely not. His coach is a complete D-bag if he puts him back in there. There's no way. You can't put your guy back in there. Come on, Booby Miles. Booby Miles. We've all seen it. You can't do it. 40 points. Game's over. They covered. It's over. It's over on both sides of the ball. The gambling world and the competitive world. It's done. Sit him down. Lots of games to go.
You don't...
Matthias loses.
This would go against what I was saying to you earlier. You don't think he'd come in and play first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter? Get you a point?
Unless they say, hey, Shay, it's like, let me ask him, do you want to score 50 points? Do you want a 50-piece nugget, Shay? You want to go grab it for the record
Maybe
books?
He wants 40. I mean, he's got 34. 3 buckets. Get him to 40.
Mike, I don't think so. And if he does, I'd be kind of shocked. I'd be laughing. You know what I mean? Let's say he checks back in. They're up 45 points. You're kind of shook, right? It's like, really? Why? That's why I'd be surprised if he comes back in, because if I see him coming in, I'd be really surprised. So, I don't think so. No. Would you put him back in?
Pistons tie it at 130 on a Cunningham layup. So now the Hawks got the ball, 26.5 to go. Tied at 130. 260 points scored in this game. Big second half comeback from the Pistons. But now they got to pay it off. Here, we'll see if they can get it done. Line changes on both sides here. This is the exciting game in the NBA tonight. Wizards have won 2 in a row.
I got kind of lucky, Mike. I got kind of lucky. We were off the air there for a little bit, and I was just click, 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 click. I took the Senators at minus 103 at 1-1. They score a goal a minute after I put it in.
2-1 Sens.
We have 2-1 Sens now. So you know what? It's paying back. The luck is coming back a little bit. I'm in a good mood right now just because of that goal.
All right. So you're okay. Meanwhile, in college, Kansas is up 24-15 on Iowa State. So sluggish start from the Cyclones here in Lawrence. We'll see if they can get things moving. I'm on the Cyclones tonight, plus the 3.5. Thinking they've lost 2 in a row. They're one of the best teams in the country. You wouldn't think 3 in a row is going to happen, but they are in a very tough spot. But we've seen Kansas this is not a vintage Kansas team that they have this year. There really isn't any other college hoops of note. Now, there are a couple of late night games. I mean, that UAB North Texas game's not bad. Idaho State, North Colorado gets serious. Weber State thumping Northern Arizona. The 8-15 Weber State team smashing Northern Arizona tonight in the Big Sky. And William and Mary now up 4 on Charleston as they're under 10 minutes to go in the second half of that game.
Nick's coming back. Nick's coming back. 3-point game in New York. 101.98, baby. Or 103.98. 5-point game now.
I got 103.98 with I'm going to have to flip that on for the next
Brunson with a layup. 103-100. Brunson with a layup. Let's go, baby. Okay. 27
By the way,
points
the Hawks did. Trae Young hit a shot with 1.1 or 1.6 seconds to go. So the Pistons will have one crack to either tie it or win it. They'll call timeout. They'll get the ball down court and see what they can do. Trae Young, icy Trae. But still, we were looking to get the Pistons at what? They were like 9.5, 10.5 at one point. So bad job by us. We missed all the good numbers with the Pistons early on. 106-100 Rockets now lead. No OG Anunoby for the Knicks tonight either. He got hurt in that Laker game on Saturday night. It is a final. 132-100. The Hawks win. Who took the last shot for them there? I'd have to go back and see that. They didn't even get the shot off, it looks like. So, finished. 132-130. A winner for the Hawks in that spot. All right. We have a few other things to do before we get out of here. We'll come back. It was quite the weekend at the golf if you were in it. It didn't go very well for me. I had absolutely no Rory stake whatsoever. But Rory won at Pebble Beach, fitting the week that he talked about, winning at iconic courses and making it blah, 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 blah. And he did that. He was awesome on Sunday. Awesome. That 14th hole, which was a par 5, where he smoked the ball over the trees, smashed the 7-iron in, and then smashed the eagle putt. That was some vintage Rory stuff as he ran away and hid then at that point at Pebble to get a win. We've got the Waste Management this week. We'll take a first look at the numbers there. Scheffler is playing, and it's some silly odds for him. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back after this.
Yeah, it's getting cooler. Football weather is here. Stay tuned for all the latest odds, strategies, and info. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
In two of the biggest upsets in Super Bowl history, the first in 2002, despite being 14-point underdogs to the Rams, the Patriots upset St. Louis 20-17. And in 2008, the Giants ended New England's bid for a perfect season as Big Blue held off the Pats 17-14.
Manning lobs it. Burris alone. Touchdown, New York.
For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The early line.
Donnie Rightside watching in his basement by himself without his wife and kid.
No. But the last one, I did watch it, both me and my daughter, explaining it to her how it went all the way through, and it was fantastic. Maybe the best bonding that we've ever had, and I look forward to doing it this year again.
It was really beautiful, man. I'm a little bit emotional. Yeah. That was really, really nice.
It's The Early Line with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, on the SportsGrid Radio Network. SportsGrid TV and radio networks are the premier streaming video and audio channels dedicated to serving the sports wagering audience. Found on major smart TV platforms and streaming on SportsGrid Radio and Sirius XM Channel 159. SportsGrid's real-time data, expert commentary, and entertaining analysis transform viewers into informed sports enthusiasts. Our weekday radio lineup begins with The Early Line at 8 a.m. Eastern with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Donnie joins Kevin Walsh on Money Line at 11 a.m. Eastern, followed by Football Full Circle at noon Eastern. Kaplan and crew join the party at 1 p.m. Eastern. And Pharrell Coast to Coast keeps things rolling from 3 to 6 p.m. Eastern. Get in the mix with Kevin Walsh and Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. Eastern. Evening simmer with Carver and Lisi. Then boils over with Gabe Moritzi on Sports Rage Late Night at 10 p.m. Eastern. To find out where to find Sports Grid that's best for you, go to sportsgrid.com. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid. Fall is almost here. It's time to stow the lawnmower and get ready for all that glorious action coming your way. Stay tuned to Sports Grid for all the strategies, angles, and info you need to get the winning edge. This is the Sports Grid Radio Network.
And we're back. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio. Sirius XM, channel 159, here with you on the grid. So we'll be back tomorrow, and then no Wednesday, Thursday, Friday this week. Of course, you'll have all the Sports Grid New Orleans coverage in our slot those 3 nights. So make sure you tune in. Joe will be a part of it. You'll hear plenty of Joe. With that, Joe's not with us today and tomorrow, as he is down there in Nolens. I mentioned the golf with Rory, so I love the Waste Management. Everybody does. It's a crazy event. It's a great course. I think it's gotten, maybe it's gotten too out of control. I haven't obviously been there to see this the last couple of years, but they had a chart out today, like the amount of police presence and citations and arrests and everything has increased as this, it's become kind of kind of a really wild scene at the Waste Management the last couple of years. Here's what I know this week. Scheffler is plus 280. Plus 280 to win the Waste Management. No thank you. Justin Thomas 12-1. Matsuyama 16. Sungjae Im 22. Enough with these Sungjae Im numbers. I mean, this guy hasn't won in like 4 years. Enough with Sungjae Im. Mr. Burns 25-1. Tom Kim, who let me down last week, 35-1. Corey Connors 45. Ben An, who's had an awful start to the year, 45. Sepp Straka 45. Sahith Theegala, who's played here well in the past. This is one of these courses. Past history plays a big part. The Waste Management. Theegala, I know, had that 1 year where he finished in the top 5. He'll probably be on my card this week because I just can't quit Theegala. I want to be there when he wins a really big tournament. Bobby Mack at 60. Matt Fitzpatrick at 60. Luke Clanton at 65. Maverick McNeely, we're done with him. Nick Taylor, of course, won last year. He's 65-1. Wyndham Clark down to 70. So Clark, after being miserable at Pebble Beach, falls way down the board. Jordan Spieth, 75. Ricky, a former winner here, 80. Sam Stevens, man, that guy's been all over leaderboards the last few weeks. Max Homa, 90-1 this week. He's been dreadful. Eckroat, 100. Denny McCarthy, 100. Hoagie, 100. Some big names down the board. Berger, 120-1. Chuck Hoffman, who played well last year here, 120-1. So, Waste Management over the next, definitely tomorrow night, because since I'm not going to be here Wednesday night, we'll give the outrights, the first round leaders, and the placements for the Waste Management here, at least on the Carver and Lisi side. You know I'll end up doing them on coast to coast as well at some point as we try to get back on the horse. We had a rough week at Pebble, not going to lie. We've had a good start to the year. We had the first round leader with Hoagie, the first tournament of the century. We had the winner with Seppi at the Amex. So we're obviously up for the first few weeks, but I got kind of smashed at Pebble Beach last week. So, and a few guys that just really fell off Saturday and Sunday that would have been in some good placements for us. Tom Kim let me down. I thought that he was gonna win it. He had an awful bogey on that one hole. I forget what hole that was on the back nine. It didn't matter though. Rory was a freight train. He wasn't gonna win anyway. Rory just wasn't. When Rory's not making bogeys, he's just focused and he's just smashing all his driver. It's so tough to get past him. So there you go. Waste Management, one of the best tournaments of the year. Kansas getting involved here. 28-15, and Dickinson's going to the line. to make it 29-15 if he can cash in. So the Cyclones, they got to watch themselves here. They're in big trouble, mister. They could get blown out in this game. There's 3 minutes left in the first half, and they've got to start to turn some things around. Now, tomorrow night, I mentioned I would get to this. Tomorrow night in College Rack, some really great games, including St. John's and Marquette at the Garden. Now, I have to go look on the Jersey page for that because I can't get that in New York. You give me a moment. Do you hate that, Matthias? How stupid is that I can't get the St. John's line, the FanDuel in New York?
I know. It's a mess. They call it the biggest game in recent St. John's history over there, Mike. Big time game for them. It's been a long time for a big game.
It's a huge week for St. John's. They're 19-3, and they're ranked 12th now in this week's AP Top 25. That is the highest they've been ranked since 2000. They're playing great basketball. They actually blew that huge lead against Providence on Saturday, and they needed the late bucket to win it. But they play Marquette tomorrow night. They play UConn Friday night. So Marquette and UConn this week for St. John's. Very, very big telling week for them in terms of if they're going to be serious contenders to win this Big East and maybe get an even bigger seed in the NCAA tournament. So that's 3.5 for St. John's. Florida's laying 12.5 at home against Vandy. Vandy's 16-5. Vandy has had some really good wins if you go and look. Now, they got smashed in Oklahoma on Saturday. They were never winning that game. They beat Kentucky. They beat Tennessee. Now, both those games were at home. They're going on the road here, obviously, to Florida. You look at some of their road stuff, they're a much different team on the road. Lost by 30 at Oklahoma. Lost by 16 at Alabama. Lost by 9 at Missouri. Won at LSU. So, it's still Florida coming off getting smashed by Tennessee. 12.5's intriguing for Vandy in that game. Elsewhere on Tuesday night in College Rack, Purdue sit -7.5 at Iowa. Kentucky getting 4.5 at Ole Miss after losing at home to Arkansas. Houston -22.5 against Oak State. Oak State's awful this year. Auburn -16.5 against Oklahoma. Same thing. Oklahoma 16-5. You know, they're not awful. That's a real big number. Sooners for me on Tuesday night down there. I know Auburn's the best team in the country, but that's a lot of lumber for a pretty decent Oklahoma team. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. We're back right after this.
Luck is winning the lottery. Strategy is settling your divorce before cashing in the tickets. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Get the winning edge. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
The uncanny valley, that feeling of unease you get from humanoid androids whose looks creep you out on a subconscious level.
I am wearing my smiling face. Does that displease you?
New tech from Osaka University dynamically synthesizes android facial movements to express their mood.
Yes, I'm tickled pink.
Breaking down moods into overlapping waves that blend naturally.
I'm running on fumes.
Mixing in realistic breathing, eye blinks, and even spontaneous yawning. Real emotions enhancing communications with robots in a more natural, human-like manner.
In other words, just another uncanny valley Sunday in synthetic human land.
Follow me at Chicapalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
Paid for by Steel Man Pills. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. 800-823-3851. That's 800-823-3851.
No way football is playing in the fall and winter because the hits don't hurt as much when you're numb. Get the lowdown on all the sports action coming up right here. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Yeah. And we're back. Carver and Lisi, SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159. Hell of a game at the Garden. The Knicks were just up 115-114 with just about a minute to go, and Brunson hits a three. 118-114. Knicks lead the Rockets now with 59.7 seconds left to go. So the Knicks getting involved. Brunson with 38. 22 for Cat, 22 for Bridges. What a night for them. On the Rockets side of things, Thompson's got 25. Jalen Green's got 21. Thunder have ran away and hid. Matthias was right. I was wrong. He never came back in the game. So it is what it is. I'm sorry. I got you. Joe would give me the business if it was him.
It is what it is, baby.
Right
it is
now.
what it is. Whenever we say Jalen Brunson's name, we should start to say former Dallas Maverick. Former Dallas Maverick, Jalen Brunson.
Former Dallas Maverick, indeed. 33-19, Kansas leads Iowa State. Under a minute to go in the first half at that one. I was giving you tomorrow night's college basketball games because there's a lot. I did mention, I think that's too big a number for Oklahoma, 16.5 at Auburn. 7.5 for Texas Tech against Baylor. Also, I think that's too big of a number, kind of like Baylor. Wisconsin laying 9.5 against Indiana. Not too big a number. Indiana sucks. So no problems there. System play. UCLA minus 2.5 against Michigan State Tuesday night. System play. Michigan State, of course, didn't lose a game in January and December and January. And then lose Saturday in USC. And then, of course, lose their dogs, I should say, at UCLA coming up here on Tuesday night. And Arizona, another system play. System play times 2 late night. BYU minus 2.5 against Arizona. BYU and UCLA. Boom, boom. Late night system plays, which actually both of those games will start after we finish tomorrow's Carver and Lisi. So we'll get to say it again tomorrow night as we're going out the door. System plays, UCLA and BYU. Unless the lines change between now and then. You never know. That's a possibility that happens as well. We did not get to a lot of the Super Bowl tonight. We'll do a ton of it tomorrow. George will be with me. We'll go through all the props. I'll give you my props that I have for now. I did a few on Coast to Coast. I'll give you those tomorrow night here. Anything else that we're going to play, we'll get George's picks. We'll get Matthias's picks. We'll get everybody's picks since it's our last Carver and Lisi before the big game on Sunday.
I got a pick right now. I got a pick right now. I got one pick right now. The first pick, baby. Long field goal over 49.5 yards. It's a play.
You got a bad number. I got 47.5. You got a bad number. I got over 47.5.
You know what? We can't all be perfect, Mike. And you know what? I'll play it again then. 47.5, 49.5, whatever. It'll be in the 50s. It'll be in the 50s.
I love the longest field goal. I know these guys haven't been good, but they're indoors, and I'm telling you, if Butker needs to make a kick, and it's over 50 yards, he's going to make it for the Chiefs. And I think Elliott will as well. I think being
I
indoors.
trust Elliott more from over 50 than from 40.
There will be a 50-plus yard field goal kicked in this game. There absolutely will. I love the over. That was actually one of the 5 I did on Monday C2C. I'm doing 5 a day this week. 5 props a day with Pharrell, and over the field goal was one of mine for Monday. So I'm in on it. The Browns are in trouble. Myles Garrett doesn't want to be with the Browns anymore. I got a good place for him. In fact, I'll drive to Cleveland and pick him up and drive him to Buffalo. So if Brandon Beane, who last week said, well, these guys, these game-changing defensive players, they don't grow on trees. The one's available now. Go get him. Give him I don't care. Give him 2 first-round picks. You suck at drafted first-round picks anyway. Go and get Myles Garrett. That is the game changer on the defensive side of the ball that the Bills need to get them over the hump. So hopefully they go and do that. I'm sure that they won't, though. That's how it goes for me. 35-19 at the half now, finally, in Lawrence, as Iowa State is going to have a lot of work to do in the second half. We will be back with you tomorrow. Be me and George, last Carver and Lisi for the week before the big game. Great job by Matthias Burbell. Cash a lot of tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Big college basketball slate. Lots of hockey tomorrow night, too. We'll be here for you. Carver and Lisi, Sports Grid Radio. Have a good night.